Hello, this is Mr. Pink and Yellow, and I'm with City Crusher. And
Yeah, good to see you.
yes, and I think this is actually an important video, so MRAs can learn. We have to learn from history. We have to learn from recent events. We have to see the pattern at work here. Okay, right? And there is some MRAs who go, we're too obsessed with feminism, we're too obsessed with fighting feminism, we could just bypass it and fight for men's rights and get legal reform for men, blah, blah, blah. And that's actually a mistaken strategy because you can't sneak rights past feminist gatekeepers. Like they'll change the law on something, then they'll roll it back. So, like for example, equal shared parenting, right? You get equal shared parenting for men. The feminists are not going to go, oh, we're equal now, fair enough. They're going to roll it back. And there's a news story recently that's going to prove what we're talking about. Okay? So, yeah. Oh, and by the way, this is a pro-feminist framing from The Guardian. It's downvoted 43%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So, do you want me to read it? Shall I just get on with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Government to scrap equal time tests for parents in custody disputes with child welfare paramount. That's a lie. I'm going to be saying that a lot, by the way. That's a lie.
Yes.
You've got to emphasise that. Children's best interests will become the paramount factor in family law disputes under a major reform. That's a lie, which includes scrapping the requirement for courts to consider equal or substantial time with each parent. Okay, if the children's interests were considered paramount, right, it would have been no parental alienation allowed for the past 40 or 50 years. Okay, so we got the best interest of the child at heart. That's a lie, right off the bat.
Yes.
So the history shows this. The Attorney General Mark DeFerris is releasing a draft bill on Monday aimed at improving the safety of separating families and simplifying the test for what parenting arrangement is best for children. Guess what I'm going to say? That is a
Yeah,
lie.
it's a lie, of
Lie,
course.
yes. So it's nothing to do with the welfare of the children, okay? Okay. He promised to legislate in 2023 after a quick-fire consultation to close on the 27th of February. So, so basically, feminists have been harassing the government to get this changed. The bill implements the recommendations of a 2019 Australian Law Reform Commission review to remove the presumption of equal shared parenting responsibility because it appeared to be leading to unjust outcomes and compromising the safety of children. Guess what I'm going to say? That is a lie. So, okay, equal shared parenting is a recent phenomenon, right? These laws are new and they're already clamping down and trying to get them removed. Okay? So, leading to unjust outcomes and compromising the safety of children. Now, we can easily debunk this. I want to debunk this right away before we carry on any further. Okay? The biggest danger to children, statistically, is mothers, right? Biological mothers are a bigger danger to children than even stepfathers. Okay? That's a fact. And that's
Yeah,
worldwide in every single country. So it's
that's
nothing
right.
to do. It's
We've
not.
seen the graphs.
Yes.
Even, there's graphs showing the most, and it's
Yes.
always single mothers on top every time.
Yes. Yes. And not just single biological mothers as well. So because there's plenty of biological mothers who beat and neglect and kill their children even when they got their biological fathers around. Okay. So
Yeah.
so you don't need affirmative action for child abuse when it comes to women. They're number one in that regard. Well done, women. You're leading the way for once. So yeah. So anyway, the reason I want to debunk this so we don't have to tackle this again. So yeah. So anyway, we don't. They don't go. They don't go. Oh, women are the greatest danger to children. Therefore, we take away their parental rights. They don't do that. And I wouldn't argue for that. As much as I'm suspicious of mothers, I would say you take on each case on its merits and you look at both parents and study them, right? Okay, you see how they treat the children. Okay, because you can actually, if you look hard enough, you can always find red flags. The mask will slip sooner or later. Okay, so I wouldn't use the fact that mothers are the greatest danger to their children to strip away their parental rights, right? I believe in equal shared parenting. I believe in parental rights of both sexes, right?
Can
Okay.
I add this though?
Yes.
I I I would say that it shouldn't be a right to have children by itself.
Yeah, but that's a
I
different
I don't believe.
yeah, that's a different matter. But I'm talking about when the relationship
Yeah,
breaks up.
that's what I mean. I just
Yes.
want to add that there's a difference between looking at if you're a good parent or not, and
Yeah.
should you just automatically be able to give birth to someone,
Yes.
without any kind of license,
Yes. But fatherhood should be presumed. That he should have equal access to the kids. Because the thing is,
Yeah.
it gets framed wrong as well. It's also about the best interest of the child. Fathers should have right to see their children for the sake of fathers themselves. That they're the human beings. They feel pain and agony and
Yes.
distress when they're
This
separated
is
from
the
their
problem
kids.
with it.
Yeah.
It's the same when guys bring up their utility.
Yes.
So you don't treat us badly in society because we're really useful. We're the
Yes.
ones who build the buildings.
Yeah.
That's not how you fight for your rights as people.
So, but anyway, this is a non sequitur. So they go, we because they're using gender neutral language, but what they're really saying here is that fathers shouldn't get to see their children. Fathers getting equal access to their children is dangerous to children, right? Even though fathers are actually statistically the safest group to be with children, biological fathers. So it's called a non sequitur, right? It's equivalent of stripping rights from black people and then saying, "Oh yeah, but black people are violent." It's the same. It's the same thing, right? It's a non sequitur.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It's actually gibberish when you think about it. Okay, so women want to gatekeep the family unit. Okay, right? They want to gatekeep the family unit for the sake of it, even if it doesn't profit them. They still want to gatekeep the kids and hold them hostage against fathers out of sadism. There's plenty of women do it, right? At least 20% of women want to do this minimum. Okay, if it's a minority, it's a big minority, right? Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, so these women, these feminist women, are upset they don't get to gatekeep the family unit any longer, right? And they're using child safety and threat narratives against men as a pretext to strip fathers of rights. They've just won their rights and it's been rolled back already. A consultation paper on the draft bill noted that the requirement to consult the other parent when making major long-term decisions has been commonly misinterpreted as creating a right to equal shared time with the children. No, all right, you claim it's a misinterpretation, but you're lying. Leading to inappropriate arrangements for children, prolonged litigation, and increased parental conflict. Let's talk about the parental conflict. The parental conflict is done by the mother. Okay, in most cases, like 95% of the cases, right? You might get the odd nutjob father who creates conflict, but it's the mothers doing it because the mothers know they've got all the power, then they can create all the conflict, and then there's no consequences for them. Okay,
Yeah.
increased parental conflict is based that can be solved by saying to the women, "This is you don't stop the conflict, you'll lose custody." It's the women creating the conflict, and it's the conflict created by the women, and they use that as a pretext to strip rights away from fathers, right?
Yeah.
Don't don't gatekeep the kids. The kids are not objects. They're human beings with feelings, wants, and needs. Children want to be with their fathers. Period.
Well,
Period.
the idea is they're saying, look, in order to stop the conflict, just give the mother absolute power, and then there's no
Yes.
conflict.
The requirements
That's
for
what they're saying.
the requirements for courts to consider equal or substantial and significant time with each parent will be also removed. Although judges will still be able to make orders for shared parental responsibility in equal time. So it's okay. So yeah, they're getting rid of equal shared parenting basically, or the judge will
Yeah.
do it if he wants to, but it's taking the right away from men basically. They've lost the right that they've won recently. So it's disgusting, and it also
Well, the
and
thing
it's
is,
yeah. So you go ahead.
go ahead.
You go ahead. You go
Okay,
ahead.
I was just add. Look, our biggest problem is that men don't really believe they have to fight for their rights,
Yes.
and and the few that actually do want to get aware,
Yeah.
they're hoping someone else will do it for them.
Hmm.
That's the biggest problem with this.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Yes. So also, there's too many fathers' rights people who let women into the movement, and there's women on Twitter saying, "Oh, we're parentally alienated too. We suffer from it too. It's a gender neutral issue, right?" There's loads of that on
Yes.
Twitter, and it's discussed. They're hijacking the issue and they're doing it on purpose to discuss the issue. Women do not suffer parental alienation. If a man tries to parentally alienate children from the mother, that will be deemed as kidnapped, and you'll be arrested, right? So men can't parentally alienate. Women can legally parentally alienate. They're enabled by the system to do it. It won't be classed as kidnap. But when fathers do it, it'll be classed as kidnap. So fathers can't do it. If you lose custody of the kids, right? There's something wrong with you. You've got to be a batshit insane woman, Like, you've been messing the court around, insulting the judge, you're high on drugs, you've been turning up to the court drunk, or you've been beating the children black and blue, right? That's the only way women lose custody of the kids. Okay. The paper explains that parents will no longer automatically have to consult each other on decisions like authorising medical treatment, giving responsibility solely to the person who has the physical care of the children at the time in relation to day-to-day matters. So they're just bringing up deflections to excuse this. Basically, this hasn't got anything to do with anything. Although parents will normally want to consult each other when making major decisions about the child, unless a court makes an order that requires them to cooperate, there'll be no legal obligation to do so, it said. So basically, if the mother wants to cut the dick off her child and circumcise it, for example, she'll be allowed to do so. She won't have to consult the father. It means that, actually. Or if she's an anti-vaxxer and doesn't want to give the kid a vaccine or whatever, right? Okay, it means that as well. So it means the child is the property of the mother. It's her object. She can do whatever she wants with it. Know your place, you male subhuman father. That's what it means.
Well, it's even society itself is putting it in the backseat.
Yes.
Itself in the backseat. Because society is saying if women want to destroy their children, we want it that way.
Yes.
They're above us.
Yes. The release of the bill follows a controversial family law inquiry in the last parliament, which elevated the One Nation leader, Pauline Harrison, to deputy chair and heard discredited arguments from the men's rights activists. This is a lie. Claiming that father's aggression is caused by his partners to seek to deny access to their kids. This is a lie. Father's rights never said that. A father's rights activist will never say father's aggression is caused by partners who seek to deny access to the kids. That is a lie. You fucking lying scum. You man-hating lying feminists. That's a lie.
Can I say what? Yeah. Most likely, some MRA said that really gets men angry when our rights are getting.
I don't think he even said that. No, I don't think he even said that because men's rights activists are very meek.
They don't think that?
No, I don't even think that. No, because men's rights activists don't say that. They're too meek to say that they're angry. I think this is an outright lie. Wow. I think this is 100%. This is not a misquote. It's not a misinterpretation. I promise you, this is an outright lie. An outright lie. Period. Okay, this is Zoe Raffus, an expert on family law and domestic violence at Griffith University, told the inquiry that presumption of equal shared parenting responsibility has proved extremely dangerous and acted to prevent people from airing allegations of domestic violence in the family court. No, that's nonsense. Okay, so basically, if there's any violence, right? First of all, the family court is not where you air accusations of violence. Think about this for a second. If there's credible evidence of violence, you go to the police, right? You go to the police. And if there's enough evidence, they'll convict the person committing the violence. Then you go to the family court with the conviction, right? But what the women do, because it's mostly bullshit and lies, they turn up to court with the accusations of violence. The family court is not a place to air accusations of violence, okay? So it's a non-sequitur as well, because presumption equals shared parental responsibility has proved extremely dangerous. No, it hasn't. That's just a bald-faced lie. So Raffus, see this name here?
Yeah.
Workshop, Australian Feminist Judgment Project events, workshops of draft judgments, Brisbane. This is a legal meet-up. Okay. You see the name here? Same woman.
Yeah.
About Australian.
You see that, guys? Everyone's watching.
Yeah.
They're always at work.
Yes.
The monsters never stop.
Yes.
They're
That's the same woman.
Work.
Same woman in the article lied about. Told those lies about Australian Feminist Judgments Project events. The Australian Feminist Judgment Project is an inspired and innovative research project which investigates the possibility, limits, implications of a feminist approach to legal decision making. The project involves a group of feminist academics, lawyers, and activists who've agreed to write alternative judgments in a series of Australian legal cases. Okay, so the KKK meetup group, KKK lawyers have a meetup group and write alternative judgments in Australian legal cases. Can you imagine that? Yeah? This is equivalent of that. So again.
Well, people don't like us making that obvious, appropriate comparison. Mm-hmm. Because they don't want, they want feminism not to be as bad somehow.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to call it out. They want to ignore it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So same woman in the article. There you go. The bill removes the current test for custody requiring consideration of two primary factors. The benefit to the child of having a meaningful relationship with both child's parents and to protect the child from harm, abuse and neglect, and 13 additional factors. basically, if they really wanted to protect the child from abuse and harm and neglect, they'll take away the children from single mothers. Okay, so I'm going to say something. Okay, let's talk about some possible scenarios. Let's say it's an amicable breakup, right? And the woman and the mother goes, yes, you can still see your kids. I'm not going to stop you. That's fine. But when the breakup happens, and as soon as the mother goes, you can't see your kids, that's abuse of the kid, and that's abuse against the father, right? She should lose custody.
Yeah.
Right? If they cared about the kid, those sort of parents are the ones that kill, abuse, and neglect their kids. These are replaced with 6 factors that determine the best interests of the children. Lie. It's to give women what they want, promoting their and their carers' safety, the views of the child. Yeah, there's children begging. There's children begging to see their daddy, and they just ignore the child. They don't give a fuck. So that's a lie. There's like teenage girls. There's this teenage girl on YouTube. She wasn't allowed legally to speak about her family court case until she was 18. And as soon as she turned 18, she started speaking about it. And she basically said, I was begging to see my father all the time. As soon as I was 18, I left my crazy mother and I lived with my father. Okay, that's another example of female privilege backfiring. She got to suffer and miss out on a childhood with a father that she wanted because of female supremacy. Right? But again, the point I'm making, it's a lie. It's nothing to do about the welfare of children. It disgusts me when you bring up the welfare of the children. It's fucking so manipulative and evil. Right? The benefits of being able to maintain a relationship with each parent and other people are significant to them, where it's safe to do so. Like, okay, even though mothers, they bring up the safety thing, right? Even though it's parental alienation has been done against fathers, right? And the biggest danger to children are women. The capacity of each post carer to provide for the child's needs and everything else relevant. So the father with a job is more likely to be able to provide for the child, right? So they're contradicting their own narrative when you think about it. So, the capacity of each post carer to provide for the child's needs and everything else relevant. So when the father earns more money, they don't give a fuck if he's a better provider, right? They'll still give the child to the woman. So this is all lies. Every single bit of this is a lie. Okay?
Well, actually, they do care because they'll just make them pay child support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So they
That's
steal
how
money
they
off
figure.
it. But no, they don't care because they don't make the woman provide receipts. So they don't
Yeah.
care.
Well, that's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
how they get around it.
But they don't get
They
around
just
it.
say,
But
"Oh,
but it's not really getting around it. It's because it's just to steal money from the father. It's not about providing for the
Well, that's
children.
what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's why they don't have to say, "Oh, well, he's a better provider," but it doesn't matter. He just provides for the woman.
Yes, and she doesn't have to
You know?
provide. And she doesn't have to provide receipts, proving you don't give a shit.
Yeah,
So she could get child
exactly.
support. She could get child support orders, right, that are worth thousands of thousands, and she should spend it on drugs and alcohol, and let kids starve to death, and no one cares. So that let's be real.
Yeah. And
And
also, the courts are in on this because one of my other videos, they even had a case where they uh, the man was making 52 grand a year, and they upped it to 80
yeah,
when they came to deciding how much child support
yeah, that's just done
he
out of
was going.
spite. That is just
Yeah,
that is evil. That is
it is.
criminal. Yes, that's tyranny. That is the definitely like all these right wingers whine about paying taxes. They never complain about child support bills because the right support child support themselves, right? Just as much as the
Yeah,
left, or even more. The draft legislation also includes a requirement for independent children's lawyers to meet directly with children. Lie. It provides a definition of member of family in the Family Law Act that's inclusive of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander concepts of family and kinship. That's intersectional feminist politics, pretending to care about minorities. So Aboriginal fathers will be alienated as well. So that's a lie. Okay.
yeah,
The Ferris said the
exactly.
bill
I
will
always say
replace.
that. Look, they always try and pretend that they care about they're for the minorities, but they're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Minority men are the same as majority men. They're
Yes.
all going to suffer, every
Yes.
one of them.
The Ferris said the draft bill replaced the often confusing law around parenting arrangement. It's not confusing at all. That's a lie. With a simpler child-focused framework that will guide parents who can agree on their own post-separation parenting arrangements. This is a lie.
When they
Okay.
say simpler, they mean they're going to give all the power to the woman,
Back
and
to the
then
woman. Back to the
there's no
woman. Yeah.
problem.
Back to the woman. Okay.
Yeah,
So the framework will guide parents who can agree on the post-separation parenting arrangements. So the father's reasonable. He works out an arrangement. The woman breaks it constantly. Alienates the father. Right, all the fucking time, and they're acting like, oh yeah, we're just here to make sure everyone's being reasonable. They're pretending to be neutral when they know why they're changing the law. It's a lie. And this article's going along without it. It also streamlined the process for courts who determine the minority of parenting disputes where an agreement has not been reached. He said. So what that basically means is the mother don't want to have an agreement. They'll determine the outcome for that. So she can so the mother can block an agreement, right, and then award the kids to her. That's what will happen there.
Yeah.
And
Streamline just means they're just going to cut to the chase and just say,
cut the
no,
man
the
out.
woman doesn't want it. So we're going to give the child whatever she wants, we're giving to her.
So here's one random comment. Equal shared care should actually be the starting point to stop weaponizing of children in divorce proceedings. Therefore, subject that protection of all child welfare issues. Okay. So he's basically saying we need equal shared parenting, and that's the majority position. Actually, even the majority of women support shared parenting. As far as but I think in a lot of the statistics and bills, a lot of women who don't support it just pay lip service to look good when it asks. But all polls show that the majority of people support it, and it's not getting passed. So it's getting blocked by feminists, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So let's look at this. This is 7 years. I've talked about this before, but it's always good to show a pattern. Why does the National Organisation for Women oppose a recent shared parenting bill? Right? So I'm a little perplexed. The Florida National Organisation for Women has been opposed to Bill 668, which mandates shared parenting in all circumstances after a divorce. This is what Now said about the bill. Press release from Terry Sanders, president of Florida Now. Alimony bill bad for Florida women. So equality is bad for women. Florida National Organisation for Women demands Governor Scott Ott veto the alimony bill. Spoiler, he vetoed it, and he's a Republican. Another spoiler. Another egregious injustice in the bill is the attempt to force 50-50 time sharing in all families regardless of the circumstances. Right? So this is linked to child support as well. Women want their child support. Child custody belongs completely outside of any alimony reform legislation. So they're saying, give me the money, honey. Child support should belong outside of alimony because we want more money. The individual needs of the family and the child should be the leading consideration by the judge when deciding custody, not a generic formula that puts child's welfare at risk. You see what they're doing there? They're saying, oh, if I don't get my child support, if I don't enslave the father, the child is at risk. And that actually might be true. Do you know why?
Yes, exactly. Go ahead, say it.
I'm going to say why, because the mother might decide, fuck it, I'm going to kill the child. I'm not getting my own way.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
You know.
Hey, you're laughing, but it's true.
True. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah, it's gallows humor. Unfortunately, they think, let's put this baby in the trash. Boom. So yeah.
Well, you know yourself how many women that try to trap a guy with a baby,
Yeah.
and when he gets out of it, she just has an abortion.
Yes. This is what the bill actually says. The court shall order that parental responsibility for a minor child should be shared by both parents unless the court finds that shared parental responsibility would be detrimental to the child. So the feminists are misframing the bill. They're trying to say, oh, yeah, this bill forces 50-50 custody, right? The court's actually saying if it's not against the interest of the child, it'll be the default. That's not the same as it being forced in all circumstances. So the feminists are falsely framing the bill. If the court determines that shared parental responsibility will be detrimental to the child, it may order so parental responsibility. Okay, so yeah, I don't need to read the rest of this. Okay. I'm not going to read this because it'll kill the flow of this hangout. But because I've read this multiple times, what happens is that feminists look, they're removing comments here. The feminists are removing comments. I had comments on this thread removed by feminists, by the way. So you're going to get feminist gaslighting, saying fathers are dangerous to children, or what they always use. They always go, "Oh yeah, but if the father cared about the children, he would have spent more time with them before the divorce." So, which is disgusting because it's the woman that forces to provide a role in the father. The father has to provide and work to get the relationship, and then she turns around and says, "Oh yeah, look, he's not spending time with the kids." So it's gaslighting and lies.
Matter of fact, I know I'm going to bring up another video of mine I did a while back. I think it was a Japanese woman who basically, she came right out and said, "My idea of a real man is a guy who's outside working, and I'm at home."
Yes.
So, yeah.
Here's one. 50-50 custody is one of those things that sounds great when you hear it, but it's actually pretty awful for the kid. Are they supposed to spend half the week? Yeah. Are they supposed to spend half the week with one parent and half with the other? Oh yeah. How? Switch off every week, every month, every year. No matter what you do, you are mandating that child in question experience a huge amount of time of instability. And more likely than not, a serious interruption to their schooling. That's a lie.
Yeah,
So you
has
see how
nothing to do with school.
yeah. What happens if one parent lives outside of commuting distance to their school? Well, the parent doesn't have to move outside of within distance of the child. If the parent cared, they wouldn't move. So what happens a lot of the time, the parent divorces and moves far away on purpose, so that the father struggles to
Yes.
see the kid. So what she's saying, what if she's being honest, she'll say, oh, what happens when the mother decides to move away from the father? Joint custody is always going to be rough. No, it's not. Not. Okay? But 50-50 is pretty much never going to be the best choice for the child. Okay? So it's been proven by studies that joint custody is the best for outcomes for children. It's the best outcome for children after divorce. And they're just saying, oh, it's going to be tough because of reasons. Because they want their child support and they want to gatekeep access to the kids. And that's before you even get to the court requiring a formal legal challenge to prove that one parent might be better positioned to take on the majority of the child responsibility than the other. Well, if you've got 50-50 shared custody, you lying bitch, you don't need to do that, do you? You see the gaslight they fucking do. Sorry, they piss me off. They piss me
Well,
off.
her avatar name says it all too. Sign, not something. They always have this really cringy, they call it passive aggressive handle to themselves. Oh my god.
Oh look, Sergeant replies. This is the original poster. I've heard reports that suggest that joint custody is actually a good thing for children, but you'd think that the lobbyists would be psychologists and experts in the field. That why is now asserting its power in this matter? Is there a feminist angle here? And then she gaslights him. She deflects. Oh, I'm down to vote that as well. I'm not talking about joint custody. I'm talking about 50-50 custody. That's called a sleight of hand. You see what she's doing? She's playing a semantic game. Yeah. So there's lots of stuff like this. And there's just feminists who go, oh yeah, fathers can't have custody of their kids because fathers will kill their kids. There's comments like that as well.
Yeah.
And look, someone goes, oh, my parents are divorced and I spent roughly 50% of the time with each of them. It really wasn't so bad. Sorry, not so. It's great that your family was able to find an arrangement that worked, but forcing 50-50 when it's not ideal or even feasible, which most of the time is not the correct path of the court. So she's just like deflecting. No, it's not going to work because I say it's not going to work.
Well, you know, someone should have come up and said, "Oh, then give it to the father all the time."
Yeah,
see what
it's bill payer.
Just say that.
These mothers, they claim, oh, motherhood's a burden, right? Well, let their father take on the burden then. Let the father take on the burden. So this. I think they've removed a lot of comments here. There was more comments on this in the past.
Oh yeah, they got rid of a lot of them.
Yes,
I see a lot of comments removed by moderator.
Yeah, so
a lot of those.
So what we're talking about here, you're seeing this in the entertainment industry, but this has been going on outside in the entertainment industry, in the legal system, and education system a lot longer. Feminist network, they get together, they strategize, they lobby, and they network in important positions like the legal system. Feminists are in the legal system, and when fathers win rights, which is men's rights, when men win rights, they roll it back. And they roll it back just to expand their power and dominance over the family unit and dominance over children. That's why they do it. They got a desire for power just for the sake of it. Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is, I still want to hear this, but most guys, even if they get involved with MRA activities, their idea is like, let's win this battle and then I can go back with my life. Yes. And you can't do that.
Yeah.
This is an ongoing battle.
And also the battle has to be get rid of the feminists. You have to get rid of the feminists. Like,
yes.
You can't change one law with the feminists still in power because they'll just revert it back. If it's 10 years or 5 years, whatever it is, they'll get it done really, really fast. You can't stop them. They'll just keep on coming. They'll keep on coming. Yeah. They'll keep on coming. Like feminists are still going. Feminists are starting to go after enemies again. They want to ban sexy enemies again. They're ramping that up again. They keep on coming and they keep on coming. They won't give up. They hate you as a man.
They really have to be they have to be relegated. They have to be seen as the hate movement they are. And that's why it's so important that we build our numbers and get that message out there, because people really are, even the guys who see how bad it is will still be shocked when you suggest something so obvious. Like we've got to get them out of positions of authority. You got to put them as a hate movement.
Yes,
they always say, "Oh, that's so extreme.
That's so authoritarian. You can't censor them. That's just as bad as them, right?" Do you know what? Even if it's just as bad as them, which it's not, but even if it was, so what? You have to fight fire with fire. If an arsonist burns down my home, right, I'm gonna burn his home down in retaliation. That's it. Fighting fire with fire. Fighting atom bombs with atom bombs. Fighting bombs with bombs. Bullets with bullets. Tanks with tanks. Airplanes with airplanes. Right? They fight dirty. You fight dirty back. I'm sorry. Yeah, and like if it was up to me, I would have feminists treated like criminal gangs. They'll be monitored by the police all the time. The meetings will be disrupted. They'll be
Yes.
arrested. Like I would actually have the police harass them for petty things like they do with black men. Right? Oh, your tail light's broken. We're gonna take you to court for that and hold you in jail for 30 days. I'd have stuff like that going against feminists. I'd really make their lives miserable, for sure. Like it's done for like the mafia, neo-Nazis, the KKK, right? Like criminal gangs. That's how feminists need to be
Oh,
treated.
this is some question too.
Yeah.
It seems to me that they care more about women seem to care more about child support payments than alimony. Maybe it's just me. What do you think of that?
Well, yes, they do, because you have to marry the man to get alimony, right? Okay, you have to marry the man to get alimony. Child support, you don't need to marry the man; you've got it.
That's true. That's
Yes,
true.
yes,
Because I noticed that. I noticed that child support is the things they really go after.
yes, they really want their child support. Yeah, and I think they could get more from child support as well. So like child support, like a lot of alimony. Like once the woman remarries, she loses the alimony, right?
Yeah,
She loses
it's
it.
true.
Okay, child support that man's paying. She get knocked up by another man, and he pays. Right? She can find a new husband. He pays. Right? Child support is a sweet deal for women. It's a sweet deal.
Yeah.
They don't want that. Like the mafia, right? They like their protection rackets. Women like the child support. And it's going to have to be. This is why I don't believe in reforming child support. It has to be abolished completely. It
Oh
has. It
yes,
has to be
it's
abolished completely.
completely unfair. That's
And
what pisses me off
I'm
with
gonna,
the
I'm going to
guys.
say something else as well.
What?
I'm
Sorry.
going to say one more thing: is
Yeah.
men need reparations for child support. Men need reparations for child support. Oh shit! Ugh. Ugh.